Here we presents the top 5 best Canon lenses. Starting at number 5, Canon FS10 to 18mm f4. 5.5. 6 is STM. It's rare to find an ultra-wide-angle lens for cropped sensor cameras, since the nature of APS-C is to lengthen focal distances. However, the impressive Canon FS10 to 18mm f4. 5.5. 6 is STM manages to achieve just this. One often unmentioned benefit of shooting with a Canon APS-C body is the relative affordability of lenses. This is obviously apparent if you consider the difference in price between APS-C and full-frame Canon bodies in general, but the lower prices of the lenses is another huge benefit. At less than $300, the Canon FS10 to 18mm f4. 5.5. 6 is STM delivers enormous bang for the buck. Just check out how sharp and undistorted the image below is the Canon FS10 to 18mm f4. 5.5. 6 is STM is optically very impressive. There's no sharper ultra-wide-angle lens for APS-C cameras, and it also adds image stabilization, a first for any Canon ultra-wide. STM means that focusing is virtually silent, but more importantly, you're able to grab the focus ring at any time to make minor adjustments to the autofocus. For more information and price, check out the product links in description. At number 4, Canon f135mm f2 L USM. If there's one lens that makes Nikon shooters jump ship to Canon, the incredible Canon f135mm f2 L USM is it. Ask any one of the photographers on ShotKit who own this lens, and they'll tell you that it's simply one of the most incredible portrait lenses of all time. Optically, the Canon f135mm f2 L USM is very impressive. Colors and contrast are excellent, as with all L series lenses, and bokeh when shot wide open makes backgrounds melt away in a creamy swirl of colors. If you're a pixel peeper, you'll know that the 8 diaphragm blades produce a beautiful circular bokeh, especially at f2. Even if you don't notice, it's hard to deny that a photo shot with the Canon f135mm f2 L USM just looks like no other. Autofocus is lightning fast and accurate, and ergonomically this lens feels great attached to even the biggest Canon DSLRs. It's not a compact or lightweight lens by any means, but its ergonomics and build quality just feel right. The 135mm focal length isn't particularly versatile, and for this reason I did hesitate including the Canon f135mm f2 L USM on this list. Unless you have a subject in the distance or have the room to move back, 135mm is too tight for most situations. Halfway of my listed number 3, Canon f85mm f1. 8 USM. I'm fully aware that Canon f1. 2 owners will stop reading right about now. They may even spit at the screen. Let's deal with the elephant in the room first. Why oh why would I not recommend the Canon 85mm f1. 2L2A lens that's widely regarded as one of the greatest portrait lenses ever created. One word: slow. And if you needed 3 more, huge, heavy, and expensive. However, to all those wedding photographers who insist on using the Canon 85mm f1. 2L lens in low light during the reception, I'll put money on at least 50% of your shots being missed. As another kick in the balls to Nikon users, this Canon version features manual focus override, meaning you can grab the focus ring to make manual adjustments, even in autofocus. This is a hugely underrated advantage, as any Nikon user who's had to take their eyes off the action to fiddle with a manual focus switch will tell you. For more information and price, check out the product links in description. Coming in at number 2. Canon f24 to 105mm f4 liters is USM. Yes, that's right, I'm recommending the older Canon f24 to 105mm f4 liters is USM as opposed to the newer V2 of this lens. This one is 100 grams lighter than its successor, smaller and cheaper too. The new version has better image stabilization, but I'd still go with this older version every time. 24 to 105mm is another focal range that Nikon doesn't offer. Sigma has tried to fill the gap, but it falls short of this Canon version. The Canon f24 to 105mm f4 liters is USM is Canon's highest performance mid-range zoom available, and even at f4, deserves its place on this roundup. Why do I specify f4? Well, if you're a professional who needs lenses to work in near pitch black situations, f4 just ain't gonna cut it, even with that excellent image stabilization. Speaking of the range, 24 to 105mm really covers a lot of options. I mean, 24 to 70mm is already great, but having that extra length really makes this Canon zoom lens incredibly versatile. There's also vignetting when shot wide open, but that's easily correctable in post too. And number 1. Canon f50mm f1. 8 STM. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to recommend the other 50mm lens that practically every Canon shooter on shotgun owns, i.e. the Canon 50mm f1. 2 liters. Even though the f1. 2L is an incredible lens, it's a bit too specialist for this roundup. f1. 2 can be useful, but for the majority of applications, the depth of field is just too shallow. Sorry, Canon wedding photographers, I'd also recommend this lens over the now discontinued 50mm f1. A2 version, since it's faster to focus, and has 2 extra diaphragm blades, meaning smoother bokeh. Okay, with that out of the way, what makes the Canon f50mm f1. 8 STM worthy of a spot here? Why does it have over 600 positive reviews on Amazon, and why is it Canon's #1 best-selling lens? There are cheap Canon lenses, and these are ones that are cheap and awesome too. The Canon f50mm f1. 8 STM is in the latter category, exhibiting stellar image quality, whilst being the cheapest Canon F lens ever made. I have included these product link in the description. You can check out this link for more information and latest price. Thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button, share with your friends, and be sure to subscribe.